everybody, Mac here. Welcome back to the show. So in the wake of Yojo June, last week, time of recording, Bobby Vala sat down and hosted a panel at the DFW G.I.Joe show. Let me first start off by saying I know nothing about this show. I had never even heard of this show. The only thing I know about it right now is that it's G.I. Joe themed and it's in Texas. Past that, I don't know anything about it. I don't know how long it's been going on. I don't know how big it is. But it's G.I. Joe, and that's very cool. So of course Valaverse was there too, because these G.I. Joe shows tend to have G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe adjacent. And he sat down, hosted a panel, and he showed some new figures that are going to be coming out this year that are sort of like an extension, not sort of, they are an extension of Series 5 that has already gone up for pre-order. So that's very cool. There's more coming down the line this year. We got a little bit of a sneak peek at the Vanguard, and we have some more news about the Vanguard. And we also got a look at what is coming for a peek at what is coming for 2025. So that was very exciting as well. And there's at least one item in this lineup coming that I'm very excited about, and I will talk about that when we get there. So what did we start out with? He started out slow, and we got a look at the reissues that are coming out. And everything, I believe he said everything we're talking about for Series 5 is going to be coming out like late summer, early fall. So it'll be coming out for the second half of the year, including these reissues. That the first one we talked about is the Garrison Calvary, which is very cool. I always like this design. I missed out on this figure the first time it came out. And just like any other figure that he does with a reissue, he does a little something different with the paint scheme. And this one is a Caucasian man, whereas the first one was an African-American man. And he did that on purpose because now he says that, like, if you get this and you have the first Garrison Calvary, you can have more of a diverse army building, effect, which I think is very cool. And now it also makes me want to find at least one of the older Garrison Calvary to go along with these if I get the new one. I don't know exactly how I would use them because I don't collect Action Force, and most Action Force that I get, I sort of shoehorn in to my G.I. Joe line. So as much as I like the design and I think this is cool, I'm not really sure where I would use them, but I probably will one way or another. The other reissue is Trigger. And the people that were in attendance kind of went nuts when they saw Trigger. I don't get it, to be completely honest. Like, he's a cool figure, but I don't get why people like lose their mind for this guy, because he's, I don't know. Like, there's to me, there's nothing that really pops. But hey, if people get excited about him, I'm very happy about that. I'm very happy that they're getting a second chance to get their hands on him. And the difference with this version of Trigger is that he has camo pants, and I believe the first version had just tan pants. But also, this Trigger has some ink on him, that he has a symbol and his name tattooed on his right arm, which is kind of cool. I like that. He definitely looks like a dude that would have some ink on him, so that's kind of cool. So that is the two reissues. And he also made mention, and this would be important for any of you inbox collectors, that these are the first Action Force figures that will have been available in box and on the card back, because as we know, everything for Series 5 is coming on like a blister card. So these are the first Action Force figures that will have been in both types of packaging, window box and card back. So for the inbox collectors, very cool little bonus right there. Now, the next thing that we got to look at was some accessory packs that are going to be coming out. And the first one that we're going to take a look at is Head Pack Alpha. And this came out because of the popularity of, what was that box set? I think it was called like the Tactical Head Pack, where it had like all the balaclava heads and all the gas mask heads. And I think there was a third type in there. I can't really remember. But this offers a little bit more than just gas masks and balaclavas. And if you're an Action Force collector, I can see you being very excited about this and maybe even picking up more than one of these. Because the first thing that we have is we have the Arctic gas mask. And then we have an Arctic Steel Brigade commander. And then we have a damaged Swarm Trooper head, which is cool. A damaged Steel Brigade head, which is cool. Damaged Scarab head. So that's cool that like there's damaged heads for like these army builders, so that like whenever you put them on the shelf or you're taking photos of them or you're posing them, you can have like some that aren't so beat up. You can have others that look like they've been through some stuff. Like those 3 heads right there alone, I can see people buying multiple head packs just to get those damaged ones. And then we have a beat up Carrack head, a camo face paint Condor that he said was made specifically to go on like the camo blowback body. We have an angry rollout. We have a squint-eyed sniper aiming blowback without the camo. If you remember when we took a look at sniper blowback, he has that like down the barrel squinting head. Now we have a version of that without any face paint on it. And then we have the angry trigger head, which he did make mention just in time for the trigger reissue. This head pack is going to be $20, and he mentioned depending on how well the male head pack goes, that will determine whether they consider doing a female head pack or not. So keep that in mind. Then the other pack that we take a look at that is coming out is Head Pack Alpha. I'm sorry, Hand Pack Alpha, where you get a bunch of different hands. And they have both black glove and tan glove. There's going to be 14 sets of hands. And there's things that have been requested, like the trigger discipline hands, where instead of having the finger in the trigger guard, the finger is just straight along the weapon. Point signal, 3 signal, and of course the middle finger, because hey, we're 12. So there is Hand Pack Alpha, that is black gloves and tan gloves. But then there is also a Hand Pack Bravo, which is basically more of the same, but there is African American hands and Caucasian hands. I could see somebody being really into this, especially if you're doing army builders, especially if you have commanders up front and you want them giving signals. I think that's really cool. And I don't know, I have a feeling that this is going to something like this may just appeal to a very niche population of the collecting community, but I think those people are really going to love something like this. Let's see. And we didn't get a price on the hand packs, but he did say the hand packs will be less than the head packs. So the head packs we know are going to be $20. I'm going to guess the hand packs are going to be between $12 and $15, somewhere in that price range. Let's see. We also got a look at some gear packs. We have the heads and the hands. They're moving away from closed boxes, even for gear packs, that they want to start doing open window boxes for everything that they do now. And they will be, let's see. We also have, where did it go? Yeah, that's about it. That they're going towards window boxes for things like the hand packs and the head packs, sort of like the packaging that we got with the first head pack, the tactical head pack. After that, we jumped into the Vanguard. Not literally, but he pulled out the Vanguard and we started talking about that. And the big news is that the Vanguards, according to what he said, they're on the water now. The Vanguards should be stateside in 6 weeks. Not delivered, they should be stateside in 6 weeks, ready to be delivered. Delivery will no doubt take a little bit longer than that, but the Vanguards are getting here pretty quickly. It's kind of impressive. So the first thing we're going to talk about is that there is a Vanguard variant out there. It is the muddy variant, and you can see that right here, that it comes in both the gray and the brown, where there's mud on the tires, there's mud on the fenders, there's mud on the undercarriage. He picked it up during the panel and he showed you that there's even mud all along the undercarriage on the bottom of it. Apparently this was just something that they sort of threw together at the warehouse, and when he saw it, he loved it and he wanted to get it out there. They are going to be arriving with the standard Vanguards. And unlike the bloody variant of the figures, it's not that if you get a Vanguard, you might get this version. You know, like how some of the figures, if you order a figure, you may get the bloody one. The muddy variant Vanguards can be ordered separately, and they're going to be limited to 500 each. And right now, they're going to be a Valaverse.com exclusive. He said they're going to be the same price as the Vanguard. You're going to get the turret, you're going to get the driver, you're basically going to get everything with the Vanguard you should get except the missile pack. You know how if you pre-ordered straight from Valaverse's website, you got the missile pack to mount on it. These will not come with the missile pack. It's just the gun turret, the driver, and the muddy variant of the Vanguard. What do we think about this? I think it's kind of cool because that was one of the big things that I had thought when I first saw the Vanguard, was that it kind of looks too clean. It kind of looks like something that would be more like, you know, the armored SUVs that they used in Winter Soldier or even the Beast in real life or something like that. I think the muddiness adds to giving it some character, giving it some like legitimacy, some grit as being like a military vehicle. I don't know. I could also see some people being upset that they're coming out now, and there may be a lot of people that are saying, hey, can I change my order to get a muddy variant instead of this one? So I think there are going to be people that really like it, and I think there are going to be some people that are upset that they may have to buy two now, and they couldn't just order the muddy variant from the start. I don't know. I think it's a catch-22. Let me know what you think about that. The next thing that he showed is the upgrade kit that is going to be a brush guard, the armored doors, and an armored windshield. The picture that we have here, it's just a model. They're not all black. And he also mentioned that the photo is wrong, that the open window door should be on the other side, on the passenger side, because you can attach the 240 that goes out the back of the Vanguard. You can attach the 240 to that open armored door, so you can sort of like have a side door gunner. And the way he explained it was that like you would put the passenger door on the front. No. So that would have to actually switch, I guess, and go on the back. Yeah, and then the back seater can just have the 420 hanging out the passenger side window. Didn't have any pictures of what that looks like, but it's just like one more thing that you can do to kind of like customize your Vanguard. Because when he brought out this, or when he introduced this upgrade kit, he did remind everybody that he said the Vanguard wasn't going to be just a one and done, that there was going to be abilities, or there's going to be ways that you could make your Vanguard unique, make it yours. This is just the start of that. Because in addition to this upgrade kit, there's also going to be a cow catcher that I think he said the cow catcher comes with the upgrade kit. They just had a photo of it separate, just so you could see it on the front of the Vanguard. Which is kind of mean. Like, I kind of like the cow catcher better than just like that push guard, that brush guard on there. But also, the cow catcher and the brush guard can combine and really make the front end of it look mean. Because once again, that was something that I was thinking when I first looked at it, that like, it's too clean up front. Like, not even like mud-wise. Like, there's no brush guard. There's nothing like beast about the front of it. There's nothing mean about the front of it. But you put these two kits together, or you put these two things together, and you have that brush guard with that cow catcher up front. Oh, you're just running things down at that point. I do think that looks cool. And no timetable for the upgrade kit. The factory just got started. These will probably be released early 2025. And I don't believe he had a price tag for how much the upgrade kit is going to cost. But that is something that is coming down the line next year. Something else that he introduced that is kind of an inside joke. He mentioned that the origin of this next one sort of came up as a joke during their 3POA podcast. And that is a pink Vanguard. And this thing is pink. Look at that. Like, it is like bright pink. There's no muddy variant. It's just pink. and there is only going to be 50 of these. And one thing that I thought was cool, if you look at the packaging, like the packaging even says like 1 of 50. I like how it's right up front there on the box. Like it's not like a little tag or something. It just tells you right at the top, 1 of 50. Those I believe are going to be the same price as the standard Vanguard. It comes with the Vanguard, it comes with the turret. It does not come with a driver, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But it doesn't come with a driver. There's only going to be 50 of them. And I believe those are also going to be Valaverse.com exclusives. Oh, the missile launcher is included with this one. That's right. Okay, I'm sorry. So it's the same price as the Vanguard. It's pink. It has the special packaging. It has the turret. It has the missile launcher included, but no driver. So that's sort of like the handoff, because it makes sense. They don't have a pink missile launcher. You wouldn't be able to order one to go with it. So that kind of makes sense. You lose the driver, but you get the missile launcher. And like I said, I believe he said that's going to be a Valaverse exclusive, or he's not entirely sure yet how they're going to roll those out, but there's only 50 of them, and there's that. If you want to hear the story of how this came to fruition, how this idea came to be, check out the video in the description below. Watch that, and he explains how that came about. Now, when he said there was no driver, there is an option that you can get a pink Action Force figure to go along with it. And this figure is coming out later this year in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That is the pink female Steel Brigade figure. And proceeds from this figure will go to a breast cancer research charity in Rhode Island, which is where Valaverse is home based, where they're stationed. So I think that's cool. You buy the figure, proceeds go to a local breast cancer research foundation. He didn't say what it was, but we know it's going to go there. I think that's really cool. And I don't think he mentioned how much it's going to be. It may be a little bit more expensive than the standard Steel Brigade figure, than the standard Action Force figure. And considering what it's for, I don't think a lot of people will have an issue with that. I'm probably even going to buy one of these, even if I don't ever open it, just to, like, you know, donate, get it out there. So that's pretty cool. That I like when companies do things like that, especially like these smaller indie companies. I like that. I think this is cool. Now there was a Q&A afterwards, and somebody asked, will the proceeds of the pink Vanguard go towards breast cancer research as well? He said no, the pink Vanguard is something else. This figure is the one that's going to, proceeds will go towards breast cancer research. The next thing we talk about now is some exclusives. And he has 2 more conventions that he's going to. There's Terrificon in August, Terrificon in August 16th through the 18th. Once again, don't know anything about this. And then there is the Rhode Island ComicCon on November 1st through the 3rd. Rhode Island ComicCon, amazingly enough, I've actually heard of before. I've never been there before, but I've heard of it before. Terrificon is going to have an exclusive, and that is the Elite Praetorian. It is a translucent green Praetorian. He's cool. I'm getting the black ones. I have a couple of the black ones on pre-order. As cool as I think the translucent green one is, I don't know if I'll be getting one for myself, but I know there's probably a lot of collectors that would love to get their hands on this because it does look cool. I'm just not huge into translucent figures. I say that time of recording. I have 2 on the way here. But that aside, yeah, I don't know if I would get something like this. I might have to wait and see what the price is. If it's more expensive, I'll probably pass on it. But that is a very cool figure. And then Rhode Island Comic-Con, November 1st through the 3rd, has an exclusive figure. And this is the one I'm really excited about. It is Pandora, decked out full in biker leathers. Look at that face sculpt. Look at that grin. Look at that. The Devil's Grin logo on the back of her jacket. that just looks so cool. And I really like the Pandora figure that I got, and I was really happy that I got her. I've mixed her in with the Dreadnoks, but this one, oh, I definitely got to get this one. Now, these are con exclusives, but he did say that as they've done with other con exclusives before in the past, that after the final convention of the year, which is going to be Rhode Island Comic-Con, they will put these exclusives up on the Valaverse website for sale. And I think there's an exclusive up for sale right now. I think the the Horde Swarm figure from, I think it was BotCon, is still available on Valaverse's website. So I think we'll all eventually get a chance at getting these. It's just that if you go to the convention, you get first dibs on them. So I'm definitely going for that Pandora figure. And then, speaking of exclusives, a quasi-exclusive, he talked about what they're going to do for the next Action Point figure. And once again, this is one that I'm probably going to go for, because while I'm excited about this, I'm not as excited as the first Pandora that we took a look at, that it is the white leather Pandora. It is a variant of the variant. So you can actually get her in white leathers, and this will be an Action Point figure. I believe he said it's going to be cheaper in cost, but you will it will cost you more action points, but the dollar value will be cheaper. But then you're also going to be able to buy the figure at sort of like a premium price, at a deluxe price. So the Action Force figures go for what, about $30 now? So this, if you buy it, will probably be, I'm going to guess, he didn't give a price, but I'm going to guess it's going to be around $40. And the reason you would want to buy one even after you have turned in the action points is because there is a variant of a variant. You have the standard one, and then of course, I'm sure you can see it up there, there is a bloody variant. And you're not going to have the option to buy it. You're going to have to send in for Pandora, and then if you're lucky, you'll get the bloody variant. He didn't say what the ratio was, like if it was 1 in 10, 1 in 20, or whatever. They will come in a closed box, so you don't know what you're getting until you open it. And yeah, I know there are some people that love stuff like this. I am like, chase figures do not amuse me, and I really wish Bobby and Todd would both stop doing this, because to me it's just more annoying than anything. Because quite honestly, if I ordered this and I got the bloody variant, I would probably be annoyed because I just want the regular one. So that's why you're going to be able to buy this one or send in the points, because I could see people sending in the points, not getting the bloody variant, and like really wanting it. So like they buy one, check it out, buy another one, check it out. So there's that. Now he did also say that they are thinking about that once she goes up for sale as a Action Point figure, that Condor will go up for sale as well, that you wouldn't have to send in action points anymore, that the Condor figure, what did they call him, Undercover Condor or something like that, that Condor would go up for sale, and he will be at a more premium price as well. So you'll be able to buy Condor, you'll be able to buy this variant of Pandora, and she's also the Action Point figure. I have not sent in any of the action points. I was thinking about getting Condor. Now I'm glad I waited, because I definitely want to. I'm definitely going to get both versions of Pandora. I'm that dude. Okay, like I'll get the black leather one, which will probably be my main one, and then I'll also get the white variant version of Pandora. Who knew that like one of the figures that I'm real big on collecting and needing every version of would be an Action Force figure? And then he went into a figure that I believe most of us have already seen, which is the Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Night Ops Senshi, which I'm sure you've seen. He's up for pre-order already. I've pre-ordered one. I kind of dig the all black outfit. I also have the standard Senshi on pre-order. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Night Ops one, and I'm going to take the standard one, and I'm going to kind of mix and match to like get like my perfect version of Senshi for this, and then I'll probably put him in Night Force, to be completely honest. With this one, the only thing I'm not real thrilled about is that Oni face paint that he has on. I don't know, it just... I know these are renders. Maybe once I get the figure in hand and I see it in person and in 3D, it'll look different. But right now, it just doesn't look right to me. There's just something about it that, like, I'll probably swap heads and put the regular head on top of it. Or maybe I'll get it in hand, see it in actual plastic form, and be like, hey, that's pretty cool. So that was it for what is coming out this year. So we have... Let's see, we have the reissues of the Garrison Calvary and Trigger. We have Head Pack Alpha. We have Hand Pack Alpha and Bravo. We have the Vanguards coming across the pond, along with the variants of that. The Pink Vanguard, the Pink Breast Cancer Awareness Steel Brigade figure. Terrificon and Rhode Island Comic-Con exclusives. The new Action Point Pandora. And Big Bad Toy Store exclusive Night Ops Senshi. That takes us into the 2025 sneak peeks. We had no pricing for any of this stuff. We had no estimate of when it's going to be ready. Some of this stuff is even just renders that it may not come to fruition. Let's be honest. And it's not against Valaverse, but we know stuff like that happens. And the first thing that he put up was just like a collage of photos with some ideas that they're doing, like flocked facial hair for the figures. That could be cool, or it could be ridiculous looking. Don't know. Would have to wait to see it in person. There's also like Vac Metal Steel Brigade helmets, which that could be really cool. Those Steel Brigade helmets in Vac Metal, that could be really cool. Also, this collage of photos, he even said he doesn't know why the hand grenades are there. I think somebody just needed to fill in some blank space. So we had the flocked head, we had the Vac Metal Steel Brigade, and we have some hand grenades. The next thing that we took a look at is we saw this slide that there are some new backpacks coming. He didn't say much other than that, and that these will still be functional backpacks, that they will still open up and you'll be able to store like blast effects and things in there as well, some weapons in there, which is cool. When I found out, or when I discovered that the Valaverse backpacks actually open up and they have function to them, I was ecstatic about that. I may actually pick up some of these backpack, if they make like a backpack kit, I may pick that up just to like sprinkle among the Joes, because like I like my figures being fully kitted out and having backpacks, but some of those backpacks are just like bricks of plastic that don't really serve any purpose. Once again, he didn't go into detail about that, but I really like, that's one thing that I really like about the Action Force, is that like they're moving forward all the time, that like we're always getting different body armor, we're always getting different backpacks, different helmets, different gear, different kit. I think that's really cool. What else do we have? Oh, the new weapons pack, which we can see right here. Once again, these are just digital renders. That rifle, which I think I'm pointing at right now at the top, that looks so familiar to me, but I can't place why I know it or where I've seen it. But I do remember seeing that rifle before. I just don't remember why. Something else that he pointed out was the little double barrel sawed off. That's one, it looks cool, and two, it's going to breach, which I think is really cool, that like you'll be able to like breach the double barrel open. Let's see. Oh, and then I don't think this is going to be part of the weapons pack. This will probably be something on its own, kind of like that Arctic sniper rifle and ghillie suit that he sold for, was that Series 4, I think, last year. And that is going to be a new rocket launcher accessory, which I think is cool. I think the blast effects look cool, and you can see that there's even like an armory crate that comes with it that you can put the rocket launcher and some of the rockets in. That looks pretty cool. I could see picking up a couple of those, maybe outfitting like some Cobra figures or some Iron Grenadiers with them. Just being really good for like your army building figures. I think that looks pretty cool. And then he hit something that I felt bad, because he seemed really excited about it, but it got like crickets when he unveiled it, which is kind of a bummer, because I was kind of into it too. And I was like, oh, Bobby, I feel for you. It's this Pandora statue. They've never done statues before. And of course, the first one he does would be a Pandora statue. I would probably pick this up. I'm not real big on statues. You see, I got my dragons back there. But this, I like the pose. I like the way she looks. Like she looks like she's all business in this. I would probably pick this up. And it may just be me, but the look of it, the base of it, that roundedness. Does anybody else think that that would make like a really cool old school music box that just has like the pedestal at the bottom and you just turn it and it plays music while it rotates around? I think that would be really cool for that one. Like some Irish dirge or something that's being played for her while it's turning around. I don't know. Bobby, if you're watching, just an idea. What else do we have? Yeah, I do think it looks great. So the final thing that he revealed, which we knew there were going to be more vehicles. Let's just pull it out. The Swarm Locust. Now, when I first saw this, now don't get me wrong, I think this is cool. And when I say this, I think you'll agree with me that when he pulled it out, I said, oh, it's an Ornithopter from Dune. And that's not a bad thing because that looks really cool. It is a single figure vehicle that he said the person sits in it, sort of riding it like a motorcycle. If I have the clip for the video, I'll show you when he's opening up the cockpit. He mentioned that they sort of ride it like a motorcycle. I'm picturing the Phantom Menace when Darth Maul was on that speeder that he sat in, where like the foot pegs came out forward and he reclined into it and the handlebars were right here. But I think this looks like a really cool single-seater, like small vehicle, and is a really good follow-up to the Vanguard because you wouldn't want to do something big like the Vanguard again. You want to hit these smaller vehicles because they are very popular right now. Not everybody wants to get the big vehicles with the big footprint like the Vanguard, even like the Vamp and the Stinger. But these smaller ones, definitely hitting a sweet spot on the consumer base, especially when you take into account he said he is shooting for a less than $100 price tag for this. So if you can get this for like $75, which is probably the price that I'm thinking he's trying to shoot for, especially when you consider that it does come with a pilot. I think I'll put the pilot down here just so you can take a look. Once again, it's just digital renders of the pilot. He only had a model for the Locust, which is the name of the vehicle. But less than $100 for that, I could see people picking up a couple of these, especially when you take into account that he said it is going to be semi-modular, just like the Vanguard is going to be. That, for example, if you take a look at this image, you can see the flares coming off of the back. He did mention that you're going to be able to swap that out, that you can have either like a standard missile rack in there or the flare dispersal, and I really like how it has like the action flares to it. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like the action flares, and then you also have something that you can just pop a flare pack in there, and then you have the option of putting like a missile rack on the back. So I think that's really cool that it's going to have that modular capability that even for something that size, you'll be able to kit it out, outfit it. This would also probably encourage people to buy more than one, and you could have like these things for different ops, different mission loadouts. I think that's really cool. And he also said that it's going to have a flight stand. He mentioned he liked how the Dragonfly has that flight stand that you can pose it in action poses. He is going to try and shoot for a posable flight stand like you get with a lot of import figures, where it would be jointed so that you can pose the Locust on the flight stand in different poses. But shooting for that less than $100 price, I wouldn't doubt if he sacrifices that, if the stand gets to be too expensive, that he would sacrifice that for a static stand just to get it underneath that price point. Now, it's also important to note that he is not guaranteeing that it's going to be less than $100, but he is very aggressively shooting for that. And that is the panel, basically. And then there was a Q&A after that where he answered some questions. Let's just run down the Q&A real fast. He did confirm that there are like underwater and air figures in the works. the Pink Steel Brigade towards breast cancer charity, not the Pink Vanguard. He noted that he wants to make the Locust mod. Okay, we talked about that modular as well, like the Vanguard with weapon attachments, but he didn't go into specifics about like what type of weapon attachments other than the flares and the rockets. He said there's a potential for more swarm gear packs in the future, because I think we've only had one so far that was the jetpack, the shield, and a rifle. I think that was the last and only swarm gear pack that we've had so far. He hinted at, he hinted at so much to the point that he basically all but told us there is a Praetorian gear pack coming as well, which I would be kind of interested to see what that is. Different heads for the Praetorians would be really cool, like especially if like, you know, one of them was a unique one and you had like, you know, that commander head, that leader head for the Praetorians. There was brief talk about play sets. Somebody in the Q&A asked about play sets, and he said that he was very much into like, I'm just going to use this as an example because it was brought up, like the old G.I. Joe like mini play sets, like the lookout tower, the bivouac, the checkpoint, things like that. And he has entertained ideas like that, he said, but he's trying to come up with like what is like the real iconic piece that you could think of, and then proceeded to allude that like he wants to also try and make them so that they interconnect, so that you can get these mini play sets and then they lock together and form like a bigger base or a bigger base camp or something like that, which once again, that would be really cool. That could appeal to a wide range of consumers if you just want something to stand up and rally your figures around, sort of like a centerpiece for your display, or if you just want to fill out the shelf with like this base camp and fill them out that way. That could definitely appeal to a lot of collectors. When asked if Action Force was going to get more named bad guys, he just said yes, but he didn't go into the specifics about that. And I'll be honest, I don't know who the bad guys are in Action Force. Like, I know the Swarm is the bad guys. I think the Garrison Calvary are the bad guys, and I know Pandora's a bad guy. But past that, like, of the named figures, I'm assuming Bone Collector is a bad guy. I'm assuming Carrick is a bad guy. Past that, I don't know. But there are going to be more named bad guys coming down the line. And then the last thing he talked about is that they're working on Pandora's crew. I didn't even know Pandora had a crew, but I'm guessing it's going to be like biker, freedom fighter type things. Not to draw comparisons, but I'm guessing it's going to be something like the Dreadnoks, where it's just going to be like this group of roughnecks that ride around on motorcycles. Maybe don't really have an allegiance to anything. I read Pandora's file card. I don't remember much about it, but apparently she has a crew and he's going to be working on that. Once again, nothing specific about that. But since there's nothing that has come out for this year, I'm guessing that is going to be next year or beyond. And that was everything that he had to talk about at DFW G.I.Joe show. First time knowing anything about it for me. There's some cool stuff here. There is a lot of stuff here that I can see Action Force collectors being really excited about. Me, personally, not being a big Action Force collector, I'm excited for the Action Force collectors because there is some really cool stuff on here. The Vanguard alone, if you picked up a Vanguard and you're seeing the things that they're doing with it, like especially like that accessory pack that's going to be coming out next year, you've got to be feeling good about your purchase, that you know there's going to be more stuff coming out so that like you'll be able to kit it out. And I'm waiting for companies like Mattel and Hasbro to get on this bandwagon as well, like coming out for things to mod your Vamp, mod your Hiss Tank, mod your Stinger, because there is an entire third-party business, which we've seen. I've even done some of the stuff here on this channel of just getting 3D printed pieces to modify the base vehicle. Why the big guys haven't figured out that they could make money doing this is beyond me, but I think it's really cool that Bobby and Valaverse is doing this for the Vanguard, mainly because I'm not sure if something like the Vanguard is going to catch the attention of these third-party 3D printing companies, just because it's not nearly as widespread as things like the Vamp, the Stinger, and the Hiss Tank. Like, there may not be as big of a audience for stuff for the Vanguard as there is for the other vehicles, but it's really cool that you're going to be able to get this stuff for it. The breast cancer figure, that's just so cool. Couldn't be happier about that. Couldn't be more excited about the Pandora figures that are coming out. And if in 2025 there's another Pandora figure, I'll probably be picking that one up as well. The head packs, the hand packs, I think there's a lot to be excited about there. I definitely think the hand packs are going to appeal to a very niche audience of the collecting community, but the head packs, I could see people buying multiple sets of head packs just because of like the damaged helmets that you can get for your army builders. And yeah, let me know down below if you're an Action Force collector, even if, or more to the point, if you're not an Action Force collector and you saw something here that speaks to you that you get excited about. Let me know what you think about this. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out for this collection down the line, and that's coming from a guy that's not a big collector of the line. Hello, before you click away, please remember to do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you already did subscribe, big thanks to you. If you like the show and you want to help the channel grow, please consider becoming a YouTube member or a monthly coffee subscriber, where for $1 a month, you can get access to member benefits, such as the monthly members exclusive video. This month, it is the Fig 0 1/6 scale Cobra Commander. So until next time, my friends, play well, stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, thank you for watching.